Okay, here we have Jose running. He is shoeless at the moment. He's going, looks like he's bouncing around a little bit too much. Looks like he's got a pretty wide stride. So he's in pose position, basically almost in pose position right there. So let's see what he does. So his foot is still on the ground, still on the ground. Now his foot's finally leaving the ground. His foot should be pulling straight up. You want to see this foot come right under the hip when he lands. Looks like he's got that. He's got to keep a little bit better of a knee bend. He's got a really wide stance right here. He's not going to land on that heel because he'd be in too much pain. So, ooh, looks like he almost lands on the heel. Because of that, because he's landing on the heel with a straight leg and this leg's out in front of him, this leg is going to be well behind him. He needs to run a little bit softer, bounce up and down a lot less. He wants these hips right here to be over the ball of his foot when he lands. So he's landed right now. As you can see, his hips are back here. If he was frozen in space right now, he'd be falling backwards, not forwards like we want. So now his body weight is finally starting to shift forward. His foot is still behind him up here. His foot needs to be under his hip right here. His knee should be up a little bit more. And he's basically in pose right here. His back is straight, which is good, but we'll see what he does. He needs to pull this foot up a lot sooner. Instead, he's bounding up. You can see, watch this tree line right here. You can see him, boop, go straight up. A lot of vertical oscillation. You don't want to see that. It takes too much effort. So now he's got that really super wide stride, landing almost on the heel. Looks like he does land more with a flat foot, but still, his weight, his hips, his GCM, general center of mass, well behind the ball of his foot. So, and then you can see him already coming up a little bit higher. He's got to work on that form. Even though he's barefoot, doesn't mean he's got great form. Let's see him running after a few of the drills. Let's see what he does. He needs to be taking a lot smaller steps. Let's see. So, Jose, you're in pose position right here. Maybe your foot needs to be another like 2 inches to be under your hip, but still not bad. So pose position, nice straight line. Let's see if he's bouncing up and down. Pull this foot off the ground. Still landing. Well, that's actually not that bad. He's nice and vertical. His weight is on the ball of his foot right now. Unfortunately, his weight is back here, so he is in the braking motion, but he's only about 1.5 frames out, 2 frames out. That looks great. He's got a nice bent knee. His back is nice and straight. There's no bending from the waist. He's going to be pulling this foot up straight up off the ground. Let's see what happens. Leaving the toes on the ground for a little bit longer than it should be, which means he needs to work on that pull. His foot comes down. Boom, he's got weight. Again, his hips, his GCM are behind the ball of his foot over here, but not by much. Not nearly as bad as it was before. Boom, he's basically in pose position right there. So Jose, that's a good improvement. You got to work on pulling that foot up and taking smaller steps. You can see his stride is not nearly as big as it was before. So